In the 19th chapter of John, the first through the 6th verses, you'll find these words. Then Pilate therefore took Jesus and scourged him. And the soldiers platted a crown of thorns and put it on his head. And they put on him a purple robe and said, Hail, King of the Jews! And they smote him with their hands. Pilate therefore went forth again, saying unto them, Behold, I bring him forth to you, that you may know that I find no fault in him. Then they led Christ to Calvary, and he spoke not one word, just the cry of lost sinners was all that my Savior heard. They pierced him so deep in his side until the blood came streaming down. And that's how Jesus purchased my salvation, for I find no fault in him. I find no fault in him. I find no fault in him. Yet he was rejected, despised of men, but I find no fault in him. Then came forth Jesus wearing the crown of thorns and the purple robe. And Pilate saith unto him, Behold the man. When the chief priests therefore and officers saw him, they cried out, saying, Crucify him! Crucify him! Pilate saith unto them, Take ye him and crucify him, for I find no fault in him. Then they led Christ to Calvary, and he spoke not one word, just the cry of lost sinners was all that my Savior heard. They pierced him so deep in his side until the blood came streaming down. And that's how Jesus purchased my salvation, for I find no fault. I find no fault. No, I find no fault in him. There's a lighthouse on a hillside that overlooks life's sea. When I'm tossed about, it sends out a light that I can see. And the light that shines in darkness now will safely lead me o'er. If it wasn't for that old lighthouse, my ship would sail no more. everybody that lives about us said tear that old lighthouse down. The big ships, they don't sail this way anymore. No use it standing round. Then my mind goes back to that stormy night when just in time I saw the light. Yes, a light from that old lighthouse that stands upon the hill. And I thank God for the lighthouse. I owe my life to him. King Jesus is the lighthouse, and from the rocks of sin he has shown a light around me that I can clearly see. If it wasn't for the lighthouse, where would this ship be? Tired and so weary, but I must move along till the Lord comes and calls me away. Oh yes, where the mornings are bright and the Lamb is a light and the night is as bright as the day. Oh yes, there will be peace in the valley for me someday. There will be peace in the valley for me. Oh Lord, I pray there'll be no sadness, no sorrow, no trouble I see. There will be peace in the valley for me. Oh well, the bear will be gentle and the wolf will be tame, and the lion shall lay down by the lamb. Oh yes, and the beast from the wild will be led by a child. Then I'll be changed from this creature that I am. Oh yes, there will be peace in the valley for me someday. There will be peace in the valley for me. Oh Lord, I pray there'll be no sadness, no sorrow, no trouble I see. There will be peace in the valley for me. My heart can sing when I pause to remember a heartache here is but but a stepping stone along the trail that's winding always upward. This troubled world is not my final home. But until then, my heart will go on singing. Until then, with joy I'll carry on. Until the day my eyes behold that city. Until the day God calls me home. This weary world, with all its toil and struggle, may take its toll of misery and strife. The soul of man is like a waiting falcon. When it's released, it's destined for the sky. But until then, my heart will go on singing. Until then, with joy I'll carry on. Until the day my eyes behold that city. Until the day God calls me home. He's got the whole world in his hand. He's got the whole world in his hand. He's got the whole world in his hand. The whole world in his hand. He's got the tiny little babe in his hand. The tiny little baby in his hand. He's got the tiny little babe in his hand. He's got the whole world in his hand. He's got the sinner man in his hand. He's got the sinner man in his hand. The whole world in his hand. He's got you and me in his hand. He's got you and me in his hand. He's got you and me in his hand. He's got the whole world in his hand. He's got the whole big wide world in his hand. The whole world in his hand. The whole world in his hand. Creation shows the power of God. There's beauty all around, and those who see must stand in awe, for miracles abound. I believe in miracles. I've seen a soul set free. Miraculous, the change in one, redeemed through Calvary. I've seen the lily push its way up through the stubborn sod. I believe in miracles, for I believe in God. The love of God, O power divine, 'tis wonderful to see the miracle that God performed within this heart of me. I believe in miracles. I've seen a soul set free, miraculous, the change in one, redeemed through Calvary. I've seen the lily push its way up through the stubborn sod. I believe in miracles, for I believe in amazing grace. How sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. 'Twas grace that taught my heart to fear, and grace my fears relieved. How precious did that grace appear the hour I first believed. There is a fountain filled with blood drawn from Emmanuel's vein, and sinners plunge beneath the flood lose all their guilty stain. Lose all their guilty stain. Lose all their guilty stain. And sinners plunge beneath the flood lose all their guilty stain. The dying thief rejoiced to see that fountain in his day, and there may I, though vile as he, wash all sins away. Wash all my sins away. And there may I go vile as he. Wash all my sins away. Lose all their guilty stain. Lose all their guilty stain. And sinners plunged beneath the flood lose all their guilty stain. Wash all my sins away. If I walk in the pathway of duty, if I work till the close of the day, I shall see the great King in his beauty. When I've gone the last mile of the way, when I've gone the last mile of the way, I will rest at the close of the day. And I know there are joys that await me when I've gone the last mile of the way. Here the dearest of ties we must sever, tears of sorrow we've seen every day, but no sickness, no sighing forever. When I've gone the last mile of the way, when I've gone the last mile of the way, I will rest at the close of the day. And I know there are joys that await me when I've gone the last mile of the way. The chimes of time ring out the news, another day is through. Someone slipped and fell. Was that someone you? You may have longed for added strength, your courage to renew. Do not be disheartened, for I have news for you. It is no secret what God can do. What He's done for others, He'll do for you. With arms wide open no night, for in his light you'll never walk alone. Always feel at home wherever you may roam. There is no power can conquer you while God is on your side. Just take him at his promise. Don't run away and hide. It is no secret what God can do. What he's done for others, he'll do for you. With arms wide open, he'll pardon you. It is no secret what God can do. I dreamed that the great judgment morning had dawned and the trumpet had sound. I dreamed that all nations had gathered to judgment before the white throne. From the throne came a bright shining angel and stood on the land and the sea, and swore with his hand raised to heaven that time was no longer to be. And oh, what a weeping and wailing as the lost were told of their fate. They cried for the rocks and the mountains. They prayed, but their prayers were too late. The rich man was there, but his money and his self-righteous rags would not do. The men who had crucified Jesus had passed off as moral men too. The soul that had put off salvation, not tonight, I'll get saved by and by. No time now to think of my Jesus. But at last they had found time to die. And oh, what a weeping and wailing as the lost were told of their fate. They cried for the rocks and the mountains. They prayed, but their prayers were too late. I come to the garden alone while the dew is still on the roses, and the voice I hear calling on my ear, within my heart discloses. And he walks with me, and he talks with me, and he tells me I am his own. And the joy we share as we tarry there, none other has ever known. He speaks, and the sound of his voice is so sweet, the birds stop their singing, and the melody that he gave to me within my heart keeps ringing. And he walks with me, and he talks with me, and he tells me I am his own. And the joy we share as we tarry there, none other has ever known.